Hello everyone. This is an old Dutch train. It's called a hondekop, or in English a dog's head. And I bought it like this on a flea market somewhere in the 80s or 90s in the Netherlands. And I'm coming finally around to put a motor in. As you can see, it must have been an earlier attempt. I am missing the bogie, but it's no problem. I just got a pancake, a North American, I think it's a lifelike, a pancake. And the frame is gonna go in here somehow. And here I have motors and wheels and wiring, and they're all old pancakes. I can imagine I can get one motor going with all this stuff and just build it in here. So I'll get you ready, and I'll get it ready, and I'll let you know what's going on with it. Okay, see you later. So I have cut up this was an access card from a hotel or something. I have cut it up, and as you can see, put it on the sides of the frame with super glue. And now at least it fits. Oh, sorry for the movement. It fits here, at least in the car, or it's going to. The other way around maybe. That would be handy. So something like this. It sits already, so I just have to determine the height of the motor with the front wheels on the track, and then I'll be gluing this frame completely in with super glue, and with once it sits, with the glue gun on the other side, on the inside, and then start putting a motor in what works, and then wiring to the front, because as you know, these pancakers, or ring filled, or whatever you want to call them, they get also power, or they do get power. This is actually 4 steel wheels, but the older ones, they get the power because they have track tires from the front or the back. So I'm gonna have to make something on this bogie to get also power fed to the motor. So that will be the next step, that I'll glue it in on height, and I will show you. So I have glued the frame in. It's from that lifelike I cut, this one. It's glued in, I think on the good height. I measured it and before I glued it. So I'll put the motor in. So, put it on the track. So, it's pretty well the right height. Let's see how it goes. Yep, there we go. So that works. Now I'm gonna put the wiring to the front wheels. I changed one axle with slip rings, and the other axle is just a regular steel one. They both have those little conductor strips, but I'm going to make wiring to the front inside under the seating, and make little wipers here too on the front wheels. The only problem is I can't find those truck covers, so I'll leave it for now, but when I find them, or when I get a similar pair, I'll just glue them on. Yep, so I'll be back. Hi again. We're gonna continue with the dog head, and I'm gonna put LED lights in. As you can see, you can I just buy a roll on AliExpress, and you can just cut them there at the scissor point. You can cut them in pairs of 3, and this is gonna go in the ceiling here. And then, since I have to be able to get the motor out, and I glued the bracket in, so I can't do nothing there, and I just have to pull the motor, I'm going to use those things. So I can pull the motor and pull the contact so it comes out, and then I can just connect it again and push it back in. These things are very handy. Dave Scott made me attentive on this. He has an excellent YouTube channel, by the way. It's called Rails. And I figured out they come in 3 sizes. This is the smallest one, so I can hide this nicely under the seating. Further, I glued in a part, or I'm gonna glue in a part here to separate the passengers with the engineer. Now, I'm not that prototypical, but it's handy to start hiding it for the LEDs I'm going to glue in here, so it doesn't shine through to the whole cabin. So that's what's happening next. So I'm going to solder the connector to the motor. Oh, wire came off. And I'm putting I'm putting string tubing over the wiring because it's going to sit on the floor. I can't glue it because I need plate to get the motor out. So I'm going to, in this case, I'm just going to insulate the wire itself. This wire broke off. I'm glad it did now instead of already. So, give it some solder. There we go. Put it back on the motor. So, get that string tubing back on. In this case, it doesn't really matter, but I'm gonna glue the female on. Solder the female on, sorry. So, put the string tubing over it. There. Like I said, I usually use just a hot glue to insulate it, but because it has to be loose on the bottom of the carriage of the wagon, in case I want to pull the motor out, I'm just going to shrink tube it. So, good enough. So I have, same as with the other locomotives I've done, this is a little different because there is no possibility at all. So I glued a strip on the frame, and then with little side brackets where the phosphoric copper strips will be glued on, and then I'll bend it so it will hit the wheels. These wheels, as you can see, are insulated too. This is the uninsulated side, and here we have the insulated side. And once I'm in the carriage with that blue and black thin wire, I'll solder it to this part, which I can connect to what I just soldered on this part under the floor, because this passenger thing, once I have the bottom out, I can just get at it. And as I told you before, I'm doing this because I can't get the motor frame out. I glued it in, I had to, there was no choice. Otherwise you see screw nails on the outside or whatever, and I don't want that. So now I can just pull this part out, the passenger part, where the passengers are sitting, pull it out, and then I can get at my wiring, undo the male-female thing, and just service the motor if I have to, or if I have to be in there for some reason. So that is the fun of making it work. So I'll be back later. So what I've done is I put the copper contacts. I glued in the credit card as I showed you, and I put sides on, and now the copper contacts are sitting against it with a wire glued inside the frame. 2 wires, of course. They will be connected to this one, like this, inside the frame. So I have extra contact for the motor and the lights. We will eventually go in there. And I tested it on my little test track, also with the crossing part. I'll show you, because I want to be sure it goes over it without derailing. So no problem. Now I'm going to mount it in the carriage, and then do the lights, do the front lights. I do not have passengers at the moment, so it's going to have to go without in this one. I have no sitters, no Chinese sitters, so this one I'll do on a later time when I get them in. The other 2 carriages I noticed do have passengers, so we're good there. So I clicked it in. That's all it is, like a click in. I drilled the wires through. I made 2 holes, but there's no need for it. The wires are so thin, so 1 hole is good. And I'm going to put it together now. Just solder it up to the connector and see how it goes around the track. So I have connected the wires, guys, and I have to click it in because 1 piece of the frame is missing. I haven't secured it yet. Sorry. I haven't secured it yet with shrink tubing. I just want to try it first. So let's put it on the track and see what it does. So the first round, guys and girls. Yeah, it's going good over the crossing and over the switches, so we're good. So I'm gluing the connector in now. I shortened it. It was way too long. This is long enough with this part. I went from thin wire from the trucks to the connector, which is going to be hidden by first of all this weight and then the seating. So, like I said, I like hot glue because if I do it wrong or if I mistakenly put it on the wrong place, I can just heat it up and replace it, redo it, repair it, whatever is needed. So now I can get this part. And we're done. Goes in here. As you can see inside, you see the wiring a little bit, but that will be pushed down by the weight and by the seating. And then when I need to be in there for maintenance, repair or whatever, I can just pop it and undo it. So what I'm working on now is the lights. As you can see, I'm going to put lights in the top too, and I'll make a connector to the one on the top of the nose. So that's the way they came.